This week we'll be talking about EA's new skate game being free to play, Bayonetta 3 finally coming out this year with a buff to modesty and a nerf to sexy. Ooh. Nintendo recognizing same-sex relationships in spite of Japan's laws, PlayStation Studios being inspired by Jade and Raymond's Haven Studio, PlayStation saying the new PlayStation Stars reward program definitely does not reward you NFTs, ... and more on Season 6, Episode 27 of Press X to Start podcast. What's up, everyone? I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka the Heizo main from Genshin is here, and I am so delighted to be one punching people in the face. Who else is here?
It's your boy, heavyweight champion from Which Nigga Boy, California, aka the janitor because we watch niggas, aka Kanye stressed, aka
Oh no!
You are not invited to the orgy.
Marcus no! Wait, who was he pointing to? Not me, right?
Figure it out.
Well, you said orgy, not orange, right?
I mean, why not both?
Okay.
Yeah.
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Jim Kardashian.
Whoa. I'm gonna assume the F is silent in the
end. I understood that reference.
I didn't. I'm just laughing because I thought it was funny.
I was watching a montage of those and just fell into giggles. But lastly, but not leastly.
And he's muted.
I mean,
hey, everyone, I didn't want to. I'm sorry. I was watching Pro Valorant. I was watching Master Finesse around. I apologize. I'm here. I'm present. I'm ready to do the podcast.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
This par for the course.
Well,
also, DJ, why didn't you say, "Listen here, you little shit"?
Oh yeah, I should have. So apparently, YouTube docks your spreadability.
Yes,
by if you curse within the first minute or so.
There's a bunch of algorithmic things about YouTube that you all have been consistently fucking up for the last, I don't know, year and a half. I didn't want to say anything because you already know.
All I'm saying is I should be able to say nigga because I'm black.
YouTube doesn't see color, Marcus.
The strongest Spider-Man.
All right, now you know who we are. Press X Our Podcast is a weekly show where we talk about the latest gaming news, review the biggest games, and give you our thoughts on the games we are playing. Our goal is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. How about that, YouTube? You like that? Huh? I'm singing now. You know, spread us more. Spread us more. That sounds strange. All right.
Spread that.
I think. Spread that what? Say YouTube it, Marcus. Pussy. Say it with your chest. Oh my God, that reminds me of something. I gotta find it, and then I'll probably say it somewhere in this podcast. I'll sprinkle it in like flavor. All right. With that being said, let us jump into the quick hits. Avery, take it away.
Hey everyone, it's me. It's Avery. I'm here to do the quick hits. I'm a positive Pro Valorant. Shout out to Master Pujan, FNS. I can't pronounce his name because it's Indian and I don't want to disrespect it, but you know who I'm talking about when I say Putin job, FNS. Cleanest in-game name of all time because it's actually finesse, but he just shortens it to FNS, which still sounds like finesse.
Oh, FNS. I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the story that would have worked if Jordan was here, but he's not, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is from Michael McWhirter from Polygon. EA's new Skate is free to play. So Skate 4, which everyone has, a very specific audience has been super excited for. EA has recently announced that we're dropping the 4. It's just going to be Skate. It's going to be a free-to-play online platform. It's going to be a free-to-play online platform in which people can hang out and skate. They've also clarified that in its microtransactions, they're going to be clearly cosmetic and nothing game manipulating in any way, shape, or form. So there's that. I'm not really a Skate fan, so this is a. I don't know how to feel about this story because I don't necessarily know if this is a bad thing to do or a good thing to do.
I mean, I would hope as long as they improve on Skate 3, but keep the jank, which is what I've seen a lot of requests, requested from a lot of fans.
Yeah. Like I think I've played Skate once or twice in my life, and I was like, "Oh, this is not Tony Hawk. This is not what I was expecting this to be," and I just kind of put it down. But yeah, like as Sean was saying that I believe in either their press release or something, or somewhere in like in a conversation they had, they talking about how they improved the ragdoll physics or something because they know that the skate fans really loved and enjoy those parts of the game. I don't know. I was just listening to the stuff with no context. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if it's free to play, like I'll definitely give it a try and see, how it gels with me. But this is cool. Like if this is what they need to get the game out, then let it be that and it be free to play and people can stick on whoever is interested in the game.
I hope the whatever monetization they stick on there isn't excessive.
Yeah. I think
we can, in regards to EA, we can use Apex Legends as a good in terms of like I guess compare point in terms of the microtransactions in that game, which are all purely cosmetic.
Can we though? Because I feel like Apex might just be a outlier. Because I mean, you gotta think of Madden, you gotta think of FIFA.
Sets the prices.
Yeah,
that's true. But I'm like, I think.
I would hope they're more cognizant.
I'm using
like,
Apex as it because they've said that clearly none of the cosmetics are going to be game altering.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Because like with microtransactions in Madden and FIFA and all that, those are all pay to win. Like those are pay to win. My team, my ultimate team, I can spend $1,000, get the best team, and just steamroll kids. So that's neither here nor there. But in Apex, like it's all cosmetics based. Some of them are prohibitively exorbitant in price. I'm looking at heirloom, a collection and thematic events in unlocking heirlooms in that. But then it gets to the point of, do you really need to be spending $200 for X?
Yeah, nobody's telling you to do,
Yeah, like
I think I've spent just money on the battle passes and one skin on Apex since it's, come out.
I'm not pushing Overwatch numbers, like where I think I did the math and I spent somehow over $500-something on Overwatch. I haven't hit those numbers, but I'm pretty close on Apex.
No horse armor for me.
I'm honestly shocked by that, considering how much time you put into Apex and effort you put into Apex.
I think he has put more time into Overwatch. I probably put more time into Apex. I have put more time into Apex.
Yes, Sean plays it way more than I do. Like he's like, I'll just my PlayStation, my phone will tell me that Sean is currently playing Apex Legends right now, and then I'll go into our club with just the three of us, and it says Sean was just playing arenas for about 2.5 hours in like the middle of the day. But like, I'm
unemployed right now, sir.
Sean has
his
here,
brother.
Oh, speaking of unemployment, I done saw you, Marcus, like twice when I'm watching what are we watching? Love Island or whatever on Netflix. No, some other show we're watching. I was like, oh, look at this guy. And Stream's like, oh, that's Marcus. I was like, yeah, it is.
I'm everywhere.
Marcus, I'm gonna need you in post. There's a character you can go to the Valorant wiki, and they just have all the voice clips on there. But there's a character called Omen who pretty much who's one of his voice lines is exactly what you said right there. But it's all shrouded in dark. I'm gonna need you to put that in post.
That is hilarious.
Okay. Anyway.
Skate. Cool. I'm glad they're coming out, and I'm glad the Skate fans are being served in that fashion. I'm hoping this isn't another Mirror's Edge catalyst in which a game that people, a very vocal group of people, were like clamoring on. They put it out.
Here it is.
I think Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a good game. I don't think it needed to be open world, but I think the game that they put out is an absolutely good game. But it was not enough for.
I don't think it's what the fans asked for, so that's why I probably didn't sell due to numbers.
I guess, but like, if you're a fan of Mirror's Edge and they're showing you another Mirror's Edge, wouldn't you just buy that game? Knowing the fact that this game didn't sell, you wouldn't be getting any more Mirror's Edge.
People are funny like that.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, our next story is from Ethan Gotch from Kotaku. Bayonetta 3 is out in October and it's got a mode to make the game less sexy. So if pull back, we're doing a fantasy critic league. I put Bayonetta on there ages ago. I was pretty sure that game wasn't coming out after hearing nothing for about half a year. There's a website I follow. There's a Twitter I follow that's daily Bayonetta news. And for the last year, they've just been posting the same image over and over again. There is no news, but we got some news this week, and the image is fucking killer. But yeah, we're getting. I believe the exact date we have is. I'm trolling.
2 days before.
Yes.
Halloween, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, October 28th is the date we've gotten. And the thing they're touting is called...
Same day as Call of Duty. Same day as Call of Duty.
I think those games have two separate audiences, and Bayonetta being a Switch-only game is going to do...
Yeah.
Like, Switch fans aren't looking for Call of Duty.
I don't know.
I mean, most people.
Sean, you're
have,
you're a Bayonetta.
Yeah,
Jesus
a
Christ.
lot of people, if I remember
Bayonetta.
correctly, and this has been the case for the past couple generations, people would either have an Xbox or a PlayStation, and then Nintendo whatever as their complementary system. So a lot of people have both, and granted, I think people will get both. I'm gonna get both.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't think they're to the point DJ's making. I don't think these two games will cannibalize each other.
Yeah,
I think Bayonetta 3 has been anticipated long enough where it should be fine, but it's like you don't launch your game next to juggernauts. Like, you just don't do that. So I think for them, they didn't have any other choice because God of War is like 2 weeks after Call of Duty.
We got to bring it out at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like they just had to do.
No, I think this game has more to.
More what?
I think this game has more to fear than God of War because they're technically in the same genre that it does for Call of Duty. I think the fact that this is a Switch-only game, that means it's an install base is Switch only. And while Sean's point of that, like if this was on all consoles, then I see more credence. But this being Switch only means that this is a game that Switch owners who are looking for games will probably buy if Nintendo promotes it. And if you're a Switch owner primarily, you're not playing Call of Duty.
I think that's an assumption to make. I don't necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of Switches out there, so I wouldn't say that there is just a bunch of Switch primary.
Is Call of Duty on Switch?
Here's no. Here's the install base.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the Switch
I get that.
The Switch has sold over 107 million Switches. And for the people who are more than likely a fan of Bayonetta, they're more than likely old enough to have the money to have both systems and enough money to buy both games and play whichever one at whatever point they feel like it. I don't think Call of Duty is going to affect Bayonetta sales. If you wanted Bayonetta, you were going to buy it. You weren't going to cross-shop it. This is like cross-shopping a Porsche with a pickup truck. You wanted one or the other. You know, you're not looking over here and cross-shopping, ultimately. You were going to get one or both.
Yeah, I think there are a lot more. As
IP.
popular as Call of Duty is, and we'll actually get back to talking about Bayonetta, I think there are a lot of people like me more than in terms of like, I'm not going to pick up the next Call of Duty. I have the means to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up. I think
you're wrong. You're reading the wrong tea leaves, man. I think you're reading the wrong tea leaves by saying there's a lot of people like you. Like, Call of Duty is still like huge.
Well, it's still huge, but it's slowly dropping.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
It's going to my thing is like, I think the disconnect we're getting here is you're like, Call of Duty is going to be this juggernaut that's going to eat everything up, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to eat up a lot of other things on a lot of other consoles, but the Switch is its own ecosystem, and Bayonetta is a pillar for it, so it's going to do well on Switch. And Call of Duty sales aren't going to really affect it.
That's
I don't
ultimately
know.
what I was getting at as well.
Yeah,
That's
I
yeah.
totally get that, and I definitely see that being the case, but I'm also just kind of wary of, like, essentially where we are right now. Like, we're about to enter a recession. Like, everything costs money, so people are going to be more cognizant of the money they're spending, and I think
Nah.
Okay.
We just
DJ,
had a pandemic, nigga, and video game sales shot up.
okay, DJ, that
Well,
point,
yeah,
you
that's
just,
because
that point you
no one
just
that's because
made,
no one was going outside.
DJ,
That's different from a recession.
the point you just made is interesting, but it ties into my point in that, cool, I can only buy one of these two games. I play all my games on Switch. Am I buying Call of Duty?
True. I totally see that. But I think you're just looking at it from the perspective of that household is a primarily Switch player. But I don't think that's gonna be like you could be interested in Bayonetta, but also play a bunch of games on your PlayStation or your Xbox because there's not any games
And I
coming out
think,
on the Switch that you play.
well, and DJ, and I think to that point, what you're making is we're all being bought into the fact that we're all primarily main console, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X when he's on the show, gamers. So we're ignoring the large swath of people who just play Switch games on handheld, and that's their primary console, and who sit there and
Yeah.
complain about games not coming to Switch. They exist,
Yeah.
and this is the game for them, and it's not going to compete with Call of Duty in a major way.
Hey,
And
listener, I
spending
recognize
I
you
hear
being
you
a
on that.
primary Switch player. I see you there, okay? I'm just saying that you might feel like playing Call of Duty, so you might have to make a choice.
I
I'm not
will
telling
say
you the
that
choice to
entertainment
make,
doesn't
but
go
you might have to
down
make
in
a
a
choice.
recession.
I will say that on a macro level, I feel like Avery is on it in terms of like there are definitely going to be some people on Switch that want to play Call of Duty, but like
They
if you
can't.
are primarily a Switch owner, all you really care about is what's coming to Switch.
Okay, just to clarify, I'm not saying that Bayonetta 3 is going to sell like trash. This game is going to sell well. I'm just saying I'm just looking at it as in a place of hesitance because it's coming out on the same day as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like when that came out before, that like broke the internet. Like that was a game. Like and they're basically remastering it or remaking it like how they're whatever. They're doing the same thing like they did with Modern Warfare. So it's like it's set up to do gangbusters. And like when something is doing gangbusters, it affects everything. So that's where I'm coming at.
And I'm coming from the fact that I remember that time when Assassin's Creed, Mario, and fucking, I want to say, was it Doom or Wolfenstein, all came out at the same time. Mario was the juggernaut of that. Assassin's Creed, no, I think Assassin's Creed or Mario were the juggernaut at the time. They all sold fine. That's where I'm coming from. Because they all serve different audiences.
We're belaboring the point.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bayonetta 3, the game is coming out. It's got this thing called Naive Angel Mode. So if you're a Marcus, insert word here for me to say, expletive here for me to say here in post. But if you're that type of person, it's for you to play on your TV and there are people in the room. It's called Naive Angel Mode, and essentially puts more clothes on Bayonetta and her Bayonetta summons and her forms when she's doing her witch time and summoning, things like that.
So what do they do about her dry fucking enemies?
Oh.
You let it ride.
Clothes isn't the option. Like
Platinum was like, "Hey, we just had to put clothes on her. That's all we had to do." Okay.
I think in
There's
Bayonetta 2, there's one sequence where like she bends something over and spanks it and then kicks it until it explodes. Like
Look,
Bayonetta 1, when
Sean.
you fight the Joys, she puts them on a steeple and then does rope torture to them while so their back arches and their breasts shoot out.
Sean,
That
all
was
I'm
one.
saying is there is a whole category of porn with closed women. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
The more you know.
okay, America.
I think it's called, if I can remember, and this is revealing a lot about myself, so I'm giving Marcus a full edit control of whether this goes out. Going out. I believe it's CFNM.
Yep, and brother, there's nothing I can do about this on video.
Yeah, I played myself, but only 10 people watch this, so I'm good.
Right. And this is the episode that makes us known.
But back on track, Bayonetta 3 looks cool. I'm not interested in its multiversional shenanigans. It's going to be a game I'm going to have a lot of fun playing. It's going to bring me back to me playing games on Switch. That in Mario plus Rabbids. But this is probably going to be another Bayonetta story where I'm just like, man, I just can't wait for next Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, you getting Bayonetta 3, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I just said I'm gonna buy it for the third, fourth time. What is wrong with you?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
No, he didn't say that on the stream. He in the
Oh,
cast.
okay.
He put that in our Discord when they announced that the Bayonetta 3 collection is going to have a massive case that's going to have. Does it include 1 and 2, or does it just include spaces for you to put 1 and 2?
I'm not 100% sure.
The thing about fucking Switch games, they're on those little discs now instead of actually being CDs. So the case is a weird thing that
weird shape. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And I bought it digital last time anyway, so whatever.
Bayonetta 3 looks cool. Wish it wasn't on Switch.
Yeah. Before we jump, that was like I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks cool, and then it's just plagued with like, ah, man, this could just look so much better if it's just on a console with more power to it. More
blame the people that didn't buy it on the Xbox and PlayStation. Nintendo put up the money.
Yeah, it's like I in a world that Devil May Cry 5 looks as good as it does, I'm looking at Bayonetta and I'm like, man, imagine if you were using the RE engine.
Wait, who loves Dante? Marcus. Yeah, you would love Bayonetta.
I played Bayonetta.
Yeah, he played 1. He just didn't play 2 or 3 because they were on Wii U and
Wii U. Dante loves kids. Next story.
Yeah, actually, okay. To clarify,
it wasn't even me.
He doesn't. There's a very specific scene in Devil May Cry 5 where a teenage girl calls Dante to tell him he's legal. He's like, I want no part of this, and moves on.
Okay.
Oh my
furious.
gosh.
Don't worry, Marcus, I got you.
I don't want to grow up.
I got the receipts.
All right.
I want the 2 hour. I want the 2.5 hour Devil May Cry lore video. I got the receipts. Anyway, our next story is from GameSpot.com, the number 20 Nintendo Bayonetta website. Top 20. There was like weird Microsoft like hobbyist websites that are better than GameSpot. I'm reporting on Nintendo news. Rough scene. That's a bit that went out of hand. Anyway, Nintendo recognizes same-sex relationships in spite of Japan's laws. This is from Austin Kunke. Nintendo has updated. I'm gonna read a snippet of this. It's either Kunke or Kunke.
It was just Sean's face.
Oh my god.
We're doing some name-based shaming from the man's name, Donald and Marcus. So we're gonna move on. Nintendo.
Sorry.
I'm gonna read a snippet.
I shouldn't laugh at my privilege.
Nintendo has updated its corporate social responsibility guidelines to confirm it provides same-sex couples the benefits opposite-sex couples receive. This is in stark comparison to the fact that Japan probably has some of the worst LGBTQ laws of any developed nation. And
I was reading that little blurb at the bottom about trans people. I was like, Jesus Christ, Japan.
And it's one of those things where like them recognizing it does well for their health insurance and all their benefits and things like that, because it will now provide people in same-sex relationships with the same benefits that people who are in heteronormative cisgendered relationships, the same benefits regardless of whichever gender is
working there.
Yes. That was a walk, but I got there.
I guess good on Nintendo. I wonder what forced this change.
Yeah, this is awesome on Nintendo, just to jump
For
on
sure.
Sean's point. And I think what really pushed this to happen was the Supreme Court doing the whole the whole abortion stuff. And then on top of that,
Roe v. Wade.
because Nintendo isn't just primarily a Japanese company now and they're pretty much a global thing, they I I think I heard this from Jeff Grubb, like, they were kinda put internally into some pressure about, like, "Hey, you gotta say something, like, this is a thing that we actually have to speak up," and they did, so that's awesome that they actually did, because we were actually talking about it in a few episodes ago about how Nintendo is known for just not saying anything about this because their laws are so, like, restrictive, so
I would. I'm not gonna jump on the praise train about Nintendo and say this is a response to that. Like, I think
Mm,
what you're talking about and what Jeff Grubb is like reporting on is actually true. That probably was a chain
yeah.
of events that got it here, but this doesn't sort of clear them of, hey, we were just quiet for those two
Oh,
and a
yeah,
half weeks,
absolutely
and
not.
then like, this
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
bare minimum. It doesn't even really affect the people who are like affected by that situation.
Mhm. Right,
But yeah,
right,
this is a
yeah.
good on
Yeah,
Nintendo. Uh, I want to see what are going to be the pain points going forward with them Japanese law, because it's a corporate thing that's going to affect all aspects of that, and like
yeah, yeah.
we'll see. In more Nintendo news, it's going to be a small story, but I think it's an interesting story in the wake of other multimedia things we're doing. This is on The Verge from John Porter. Nintendo acquires animation studio that'll become Nintendo Pictures. So they acquired the CG production company called Dynamo Pictures, and what that means going forward, I don't know. They're working with Illumination on the Mario movie, and I think the DK spinoff after that. What Dynamo is going to be doing, we don't know. In my head, the perfect thing was, all right, we make CG cutscenes for Nintendo games now. That's what I would think if I was doing that, and still outsource that content to people who know what they're doing. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see Donkey
I'm
Kong directed by Quentin Tarantino.
I think I think they actually did a short for
The Dynamo Pictures is from what I can remember, just looking at their IMDb page. They worked on Death Stranding. They worked on Metro Another M. They worked on Persona 5. They've done a lot of post production animation stuff for
oh, okay, okay,
big video
okay,
games. So
okay.
in my head, when Nintendo Pictures is being rebranded, it's like, okay, we're gonna bring that stuff in house. So like the Mario team doesn't have to worry about making good animations, like animations
Yeah.
CG animations for the Mario game, and we can outsource that to an internal studio. But
Yeah.
in the wake of everyone becoming a multimedia conglomerate for good or ill, I don't. This could mean anything.
Yeah, I was looking at this in the view of Nintendo finally capturing a studio that's gonna allow them to make, like, animated properties. So, like, Netflix kids shows of Mario, of Luigi, of fucking almost said Mega Man. That is not Nintendo, Jesus. But yeah, like basically like be able to pump out those things versus having to go to different studios to get stuff done and then having to, compromise with their vision versus Nintendo's vision because we all know that Nintendo is very strict about how they present their content. So to me, I thought this was them. All right, we're gonna get an animation studio so we can have the final say on our animation properties and get that out there. So
Which
I don't
makes
know. We'll see.
sense
Yeah.
considering that it seems to be just more of the wave with big companies to not have to outsource. So they're kind of making their own production company so they can just keep everything in-house.
Right. Yeah. Before we jump into the next news story, we have a word from our sponsors. It's us. Hey there. Are you enjoying this episode? You are? Great. If you're listening to the podcast, then please leave a review on the podcast app that you're using. If you're watching us, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. After that, you can go to pressx2start.com. There you'll find all the information about us, the podcast, the links to all of our social media channels, and to our Discord. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Now back to the podcast. And we are back. Avery, what's the next story? Tell us.
Okay, so in other acquisition news, this is from IGN. This is from Ryan Denzel, proprietor of the Denzel Dimmadome. Shout out to Blessing Animator Jr. for making that ad lib I'm constantly stealing, but I am not the original man. I am a sum of the parts of everything I've consumed. Anyway, Supermassive Games, the developers of Until
You're like a
Dawn.
Megazord. A
Yes.
beautiful black Megazord.
Okay. Supermassive Games, the creators of Until Dawn, have been acquired by Nordisk Games. I have no idea what Nordisk Games is, and it's such a bizarre thing to me that I didn't even take the 5 minutes to research what they make. But they now own Supermassive, which means that hopefully we get more games like The Quarry and less games than the Dark Pictures Anthology, which I haven't really played any of, but the consensus is that they are middling to okay. They're getting better every iteration, and it's very clear that they don't have the time or budget to really pump out quality with those games. In comparison,
they're just another acquisition group, it looks like. Unfortunately.
As someone who played Man of Medan, I can attest that it was mid, not bad, but definitely not Until Dawn.
Few games were Until Dawn.
Yeah, I am looking at Nordisk Games' website, and I'm looking at the game studios, and the only game studio that I know is Supermassive Games.
Apparently Avalanche Studios, who made Just Cause, so there's that.
Oh, okay, that's okay. And Avalanche Studios apparently, now that I know that now. Okay.
But I guess all the new thing is just being an acquisition group and snatching up studios, so
yeah.
Everything is getting consolidated.
I mean, when Microsoft is spending north of over $65 billion to acquire Activision, any dumb guy outside of video games who wants to make money would consolidate a bunch of small studios, try to make content for them, try to pump out consistent content for them, and then just have them acquisition by a larger conglomerate for an unnecessary amount of money.
Yeah.
Good down Until Dawn developer. Good for Supermassive being bought and now hopefully supported to make better games. It's saying that Sony didn't. It's so weird that there was that weird future where they could have gotten acquired by Sony and then they didn't, and then they went on to make the Dark Pictures Anthology, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why they didn't do it.
Terrible.
But yeah, still in the acquisition news, this is gonna be light. These are both GameIndustry.biz stories, but ultimately it's both the Bungie and the Haven Studios acquisitions have finally finished. So now they are both now officially first-party studios, at least in Haven's standpoint. I'm not sure what the corporate nomenclature is going to be for Bungie, because I know their deal with Sony is relatively unique. But both of them are now officially acquired, so they're both PlayStation Studios. In Haven's standpoint, they also talked about how they've been working with Mark Cerny on the technology for their game, and they clarified that a lot of the DNA from Jade Raymond's time at Google is now within Haven in terms of being cloud supported. So we'll see what that means. And then Bungie, there's some news about what they're trying to make. There's a mobile game that they're trying to make, coupled with, I think, another type of game that they're also trying to make. So it's clear that both of these studios are getting, now that the deal is inked, they're on they hit the floor running in terms of what their PlayStation relationship is.
And just to go off of that, like Haven Studio, to be clear, they have not produced a game yet, and this whole story about PlayStation Studios being inspired by them is purely off of their workflow. So I think it's very interesting that I think it's interesting that this is the highlight of the article, and it's like, is it just that because there's nothing else to talk about, or is it just like, oh, this studio is really revolutionizing how they work over the cloud? But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, they're a studio that was started in a pandemic. So as far as I was aware of, there was no physical studio for anyone to get work out of, which means they had to build workflows. They had to build the entire workflow for like a cloud work from home situation, unlike the other places studios who had to adapt to that going forward.
Right.
But yeah, good for those two studios. This also frees PlayStation up to make more acquisitions without having without getting the door broken down at the FCC of like, oh, you're conglomerating too much power. So we'll see if my crackpot from 2.5 years, at this point, 2.5 years ago, theory about Square Enix is still a true thing, or am I still fucking smoking the crack? Our final story is a story that literally sent most of the video game sphere into a tizzy for about 5 seconds because no one has any reading skills. This is a story from Kotaku. New PlayStation reward program can give you money for playing games, getting trophies. So Sony has introduced a system called PlayStation Stars, which when I read it, I was like, oh, they're just repackaging the Sony reward system that they have into a Nintendo, My Nintendo system for PlayStation, or as Xbox gamers will talk about, whatever system that Microsoft has. But I think I was thinking of the Nintendo system when I thought about this. But in the not fine print, in the print of their announcement, they all talk about so they talked about collectible digital items. Everyone read that and immediately said, "Oh no, PlayStation is making NFTs." So everyone and their mom started dunking on PlayStation for making NFTs. And then in the fine print, like, "Oh yeah, PlayStation, like, these are definitely not NFTs." And and we've moved on with our lives.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, like, whatever, little add-on they want to give us for playing their games and, rewarding us for our time spent in their ecosystem. Like, more power to them. More power to us, I guess.
This is not much of a story outside of the confusion it caused, but Marcus, Sean, how do you feel about this?
I just don't understand why people have so much of an issue with nice fat titties. I don't get it.
I mean, or my other thing. If y'all remember the previous episode. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, I play upwards of actually, I'm not gonna say how long I play games. But I play enough to earn some points. I don't mind it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I just want to know, like, what that actual reward's going to be. Like, what's the currency, and like, how does it work out? Like, how many hours of game time do you have to have in order to get enough currency to be able to buy
a new car?
It's gonna be a somewhat exorbitant amount because I mean they're not in the business of giving away free money or free games. So
That's
I mean,
that's true.
Just it's gonna be a
words.
nice thing. Oh, I beat this game. I got a platinum. Here's $2 worth of credit type shit. I mean,
Right.
Well, here's the thing. The issue with that, I don't think they're going to give you money for platinums and trophies and things like that. In that regard of anything, like you're not, because like there are so many bad games on the PlayStation Network that are just designed to give you platinum trophies. That the system would be inherently broken from the jump street if people would spend money on a 99-cent game with the full knowledge that game would give them points. Like it's a weird system. Ultimately, I think it's gonna pan out like the Sony rewards, which Sean had to remind me the thing that I had to pay attention to, because like I just don't. And like, here's the $20 gift card for the PSN, which I used to buy Persona 5 Royal for the 15th time.
So it said that you can earn them by logging into your PlayStation or completing challenges like winning a tournament, for instance, or being the first person in your time zone to earn a platinum trophy. So like not everybody's gonna get it for getting platinums or whatever. Or it says awarded for checking off all other trophies affiliated with the game for a major blockbuster like God of War Ragnarok, for instance.
Ragnarok.
So it's gonna be for bigger games, probably not smaller little 99-cent indie games like you said. People are gonna abuse it, and they're gonna do a knee-jerk reaction more than likely, just like they did with the stacking of PlayStation Plus Premium. So,
Well,
I
it's
think
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out what a knee-jerk reaction would be when we still actually don't know how everything is going to pan out. What you just read is like some idea that they have they're going to implement in the system, not how it individually works. Like we don't know. No one has a spreadsheet of like what do I need to do X to earn X, and we don't know what this X stretch to equate to monetary dollars. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
When this fully comes out, we can start to figure out whether this is a good like.
it says it in the blog.
No,
But
I mean,
hear you.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's an announcement. Like, it's not the actual breakdown of the rules and everything like that. Like, that's not the nitty gritty that you would need.
I hear you.
Yeah. We're gonna see again. I feel like I keep saying that, but we're gonna see. All right. That's it for the quick hits, right, Avery?
Yes.
You got anything? Okay. All right. That has been the episode for the day. We hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite YouTube channel. Don't forget to review our podcast on your favorite podcasting channel. If you could like it. I don't know if your platform allows that.
Love it.
Yeah, if you can propose. Do all that stuff. Make sure you continue watching our content. Make sure you continue having a great day, night, evening, dimension, wherever you are. Do all that. You take care. You wash your hands. You be safe, and you play more video games.